Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about my experience working as a Mandarin Chinese tutor. I started teaching back in 2018, and during the pandemic, especially between 2020 and 2021, I had a lot of regular students from all over the world. I taught students from countries like the US, UK, France, Russia, and many others. In total, I had over 500 lessons during that period. So, in today's video, I will sharing not only my teaching experience and methodologies, but also some common struggles my students faced during their Mandarin learning journey, which might also be very helpful for those of you who are learning Mandarin as well. Section 1: Teaching Experience. So, I want to first talk about my approach to teaching and the methods I worked for different types of students. Some of my students prefer to follow textbooks. This method is great for beginners because textbooks provide a clear structure. They guide you through grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure in a systematic way. For those who like a more traditional approach, this is often the best way to learn. Then I had students at an intermediate level who prefer more conversational lessons. They would practice talking with me, and I would correct their pronunciation, tones, grammar mistakes, or suggest better words to use. This is more flexible and focuses on practical, everyday language. And then there were students who came with their own materials. For example, some would bring news articles from websites or media in Chinese, and we'd go through them together, practicing reading comprehension and discussing the content. But once I started my corporate career, I had to step away from tutoring. And last year, my tutoring account on italki was suspended. It was a bit sad because I really enjoyed teaching, and there were lots of memories from students' review. But for now, my focus is still on my professional career. That said, I wouldn't rule out restarting private lessons in the future if I have more time. Section 2: Common struggles students face in learning Mandarin. Now let's dive into some of the common challenges that many of my students faced while learning Mandarin. First of all, tones. One of the biggest struggles for students is mastering the tones in Mandarin. Mandarin has 4 tones, and the meaning of a word can completely change depending on which tone you use. For example, the word ma, 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 ma can mean mother, hump, horse, or scored, depending on the tone. Students often find this challenging because even a slight difference in tone can lead to confusion. But with practice and careful listening, you can improve your tone accuracy. Second, Chinese characters. Another major hurdle is learning Chinese characters. Some students are good at reading pinyin, which is a romanized version of Chinese, but they struggle with recognizing and writing Chinese characters. For instance, 2 characters like mu, meaning tree, and mo, meaning ant, look very similar, but they have different meanings and pronunciations. It's easy to mix up characters if you are not familiar with them. I always tell my students it's okay if they cannot write the characters perfectly at first. What's more important is being able to recognize them in context. Third, awkward phrasing. Another common struggle is using phrases in a way that sounds unnatural to native speakers. Sometimes students learn a phrase but use it in a context that isn't quite right. For example, when trying to say something simple like, I'm going to the store, the structure or vocabulary they choose may not feel natural in Mandarin. I always encourage my students to listen to native speakers and immerse themselves in real life conversations to get a feel for how the language is used. Fourth, cultural differences. Cultural differences play a big role in learning Mandarin. For example, when someone compliments your dress in English, you'd usually say thank you. But in Chinese culture, it's more common to respond with something more modest, like 哪里,which means something like where, oh, no. It's a way of being humble, and for many students from Western countries, this indirect way of responding to compliments can feel a bit awkward at first. But it's a small but important part of understanding the cultural nuance in a language. Number 5, word order and grammar. Word order in Mandarin can also trip students up. For example, in English, you might say, I already ate. But in Mandarin, the adverb comes first before the verb, so it's 我已经吃了. Understanding where to place time markers and other details within a sentence takes practice and can feel different from other languages. Section 3, Final Thoughts. So those are some of the most common challenges my students faced while learning Mandarin. If you are learning Mandarin, don't feel discouraged if you are struggling with any of these areas. It's completely normal. Learning a new language is a process, and with time and practice, it does get better and easier. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about learning Mandarin or anything else, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you are enjoying my content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. I will see you in the next one. See you. Bye.